All right, so again, where will the Antichrist come from, and will he be a Jew or Syrian? The identity and origin of the Antichrist. The Bible provides clues. All right, the Antichrist origin. Clues from the Bible. The Antichrist will be a political, military, and religious leader who establishes a global kingdom, makes a covenant with Israel, and ultimately declares himself to be God. Several key passages suggest his background. Um, and if you go on the internet, you'll see different ones. But basically, I'm going to present information, but not nail down this is it. I go on quest. Um, we have to watch those who come across as they have the answer. God spoke to me. Oh, I know this is the truth. Okay. But it doesn't come out in the scripture. You have to, some will tell you you're too dumb to understand it. You have to go through them. So that's amazing too. We might get into a video of that. The Roman connection. Will the Antichrist be from a revived Roman Empire? One of the most, one of the strongest clues about the Antichrist origin comes from Daniel 9:26-27, which states, and after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself, and people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary. So we get this Messiah. Many believe this. They're talking about the Messiah. Will be cut off, but not for himself. He died for us. That's beautiful right there. And the people of the prince shall come and destroy the city, and destroy the city and the sanctuary. They destroyed both the city of Jerusalem and the sanctuary. Again, those are some deep clues for me, I say. All right, this verse refers to the destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD. Many scholars believe that, and I got no evidence to go against it, so I tend to agree, which was carried out by the Romans, specifically Titus and his army. The prince that shall come is interpreted as the Antichrist, suggesting that he will come from the same people who destroyed the temple, the Roman Empire. And this is centuries later, and that's the beauty of that it throws some people off when they say, well, he's talking about this person, but he jumps to that. It's a vision. He give you a start point, and he goes sometimes to the end point. Many scholars believe this indicates a revived Roman Empire, possibly the European Union or a Western global power. If you look at today's makeup of the world and how things are working out, okay, you got Russia invaded Ukraine, but not without provocation. But Russia invaded Ukraine, and in that scenario, it motivated, and threw the Europeans into turmoil. Like, what is going on? We could be next. Oh my God! And America is across the lake. um, it's strategies that they could take. They could take small Baltic states. Russia could. Lithuania, Estonia, and it would take weeks for the um, NATO forces to rally, but they should be able to see the buildup, that sort of thing, movement of troops, and be able to repel the smaller incursion, but a bigger incursion would take Big Brother U.S. to come and save them at this time. So they've been put in a tailspin, and the United States under President Trump is saying we want peace, and we want it now. And as you saw the blow up that happened last week with the Ukrainian president Zelensky coming to the United States, saying what he had to say, and basically leaving without signing the agreement. Some say, Trump set him up. Some say um, the Ukrainian president set him up. I tend to believe it was the Ukrainian president that was doing the ambush. They had plenty of time to say we're signed. They could have signed over weeks ago, months ago. Then came over and did the ceremony. They didn't have to come here, not sign, and then walk away with nothing. And now it's even less. Either today or yesterday, I believe it was today, the President of the United States said we're cutting off all, well, we're not cutting off, they say postponing the delivery of additional military aid. That's significant as they are dwindling daily because of use. The war's going on, they can run out of shells, they can run out of missiles, different armaments. Europe says we're ready to put boots on the ground. No, they're not. They can send troops over there, but once it's get heated and escalated, will Russia go nuclear? You got these foreign troops on the ground. Even though Putin he puts North Koreans out there and let them get, I think it's up to 10,000, 100,000, got slaughtered. Um, Whatever leaves him, that's 10,000 that he didn't have to deal with from his people. So yes, he do being duplicitous, but this is war. But if you send troops over there in their own uniform, that sort of thing, that escalates even more. And that is not appear to what President Trump wants. Thank God. Additionally, say hi. Additionally, you're looking at what happened apparently today when Zelensky says, "Hey, I want to come back to the table." I say he should sign it before he get in. We should not waste our time with allowing him to come back over here when he's not going to sign. Sign over there, we do a ceremony. Sign first, and then we do ceremony. Don't waste our time. Don't waste yours. But getting back to this, it appears that a European power will rise up, and from that European power, which has been referred to as the revived Roman Empire, will come the Antichrist. It appears, and I'm of that mindset. All right, the Syrian connection. Is he from the Seleucid kingdom? Daniel 8, 9 through 12 speaks of Antiochus IV, a Greek Syrian ruler who desecrated the Jewish temple in 167 BC. Antiochus is considered a foreshadowing of the Antichrist, the little horn, the first inkling of the little horn, because he persecuted the Jews and set up the abomination of desolation. That was in Daniel 11:31, Matthew 24:15. Some believe that since Antiochus came from the Seleucid Empire, which included modern-day Syria, Turkey, and Iraq, the Antichrist could emerge from this same region. That is a possibility, knowing that he was Greek. Is he Greek Arab now? What's the makeup over there, and what is the mindset? So we'll look at that. Sure, say hello to those that are chiming in. All right, supporting scripture. And out of one of them came a little horn, which waxed exceeding great toward the south and toward the east, and toward the pleasant land. Daniel 8:9. The little horn in Daniel vision is often linked to the Antichrist, since Antiochus came from Syria. Some believe the final Antichrist will also be Syrian ability. So the little horn in Daniel visions came up. which waxed exceeding great toward the south, toward the east, and toward the pleasant land. The question is, was this fulfilled under Antiochus, or is to be fulfilled under the modern day or future Antichrist? Okay, so the Jewish connection. Will the Antichrist be Jewish? Again, this is not any defamation on Jews. Christ was Jewish. 12 apostles was Jewish. The possibility is that he will be Jewish to fulfill, as Christ said, he came in his name, and they turned it down. Another will turn in his name. I get the scriptures come from. I came in my Father's name. Duh. I came in my Father's name, and ye receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him will you receive. John 5:43. So, we'll bring us more points on this. Again, some argue that the Antichrist must be Jewish because he makes a covenant with Israel, Daniel 9:27. Some believe only a Jew could be able to do this. The Jews accept him as the Messiah, John 5:43. Again, that was Jesus sworn, I came in my Father's name, and ye receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. John 5:43. Okay. This could suggest that this could suggest that Jews will accept the Antichrist as a Messiah because he's Jewish. He sits in the temple of God, 2 Thessalonians 2:4. The third temple will be built, and the Antichrist will enter it and declare himself to be God. Some say only a Jew would be accepted in the Holy Temple. Is it? However, counter arguments suggest the Jews have accepted foreign rulers before Herod and Titus, etc., meaning he does not have to be Jewish. And this, I feel, is a good point. He does not have to be Jewish. But the Antichrist nationality, different theories. Theory 1, the Antichrist will be Roman, European, based on Daniel 9:26. He will be from the revived Roman Empire. Now, there's many nationalities in the revived Roman Empire. So he could be all the above within that region, within that area. Rome stretched far and wide. You can literally say that United States, Australia, New Zealand is part of the Roman Empire. But if you look at just for that geographical area that it occupied at that time, that's something to consider. The EU, or Western alliances could produce the Antichrist. Certainly. With what is going on in Ukraine and how the Europeans are responding, they're pulling together now out of fear of Russia and that sort of thing. The Pope or a globalist leader could be part of the system. That's what I do believe. The Pope, the Catholic Church, that system that of idolaters will be part of the global system. They take in every religion. They hug up on witch doctors and all the like. So, yes, I do believe they are be a part of the one world religion. You got one world economy, one world religion, and one world government. So, it's a trifecta of leadership and power. All right, theory 2. The Antichrist will be Middle Eastern or Syrian or Muslim. Based on Daniel 8:11, he could be from the Seleucid region, Syria, Turkey, Iraq. Again, in that area are many ethnic groups. So just saying because these sort of areas have to be Muslim. There are Druids. Um, there are different religions over there, and also look at the Kurds. They're communists or socialists or what you want to call them over there. So doesn't necessarily have to be a Muslim. I know some of the Western minded individuals could not think, no, we couldn't do that, but Muslims could. So it's out of bias, hate, and ignorance. They can say, they want to say it's anybody but us. Look at Hitler. He came from the Western powers. Don't get me wrong, Stalin and Mao was just as evil, but they tend to get a free pass from especially the liberals and the Democrats out of ignorance. So consider that. Some believe he may rise from the Muslim world and deceive both Muslims and Jews. Revelation 13:7 suggests he will persecute Christians worldwide, which fits a radical Islamic agenda. Okay, possible. Something to consider. Theory 3, the Antichrist will be Jewish. He will deceive the Jews into thinking he is the Messiah, their Messiah. John 5:43 suggests the Jews will accept him. He will enter the temple and claim divinity. 2 Thessalonians 2:14. Now, many will fall after him, but there will be some resistance. And basically, you get your head cut off. So, is this going to be worldwide, or regional? I'm not too sure yet. I know it'd be worldwide in worship, but would everybody in the world start getting their head cut off? How deep or far-reaching will this be? That's amazing. All right, the Antichrist religious affiliation. Will he be Jewish, Christian, or Muslim? If he is Jewish, he will claim to be the Jewish Messiah. If he is Muslim, he may claim to be the Islamic Mahdi. Some Islamic eschatology align with the Antichrist's characteristics. If he is European, globalist, he may unite all religions under a one world faith. Revelation 17. So again, something to consider. All right. Will he be a Christian apostate? 2 Thessalonians 2:3-4 claims him, calls him the son of perdition, son of hell. The term also used for Judas Iscariot. Some believe he will pretend to be a Christian leader, but ultimately turn against Christ. The Vatican's push for interfaith unity and global religious cooperation raises concern about a false Christian leader supporting the Antichrist. Look at your leaders today in the United States. Follow their faith. What do they believe? Look at your actors, the ones that come out. Look at those who rightfully fight against abortion. Look at their faith. What are they? It permeates. Therefore, they are susceptible to someone rising up. Even look at your charismatic, denominational, non-biblical individuals, and you see that they are more susceptible to the lies of a rise of a powerful individual. All right, where will the Antichrist rule from? Some believe Babylon, Iraq. I do not believe that. They believe a revised power will rise up. Babylon has been destroyed. According to scripture, it will never rise again. Revelation 17-18 speaks of a final mystery Bible. That, as I try to tell those I fellowship with, that I believe is wrong. Okay. Some believe this refers to an economic, religious world capital in the Middle East. I did not. Possibly modern Iraq or Saudi Arabia. The Antichrist system will control global commerce and religion. That is something. That is something that we have to stay prayed up on, not fearful, but knowing it's coming. When they control all religion, commerce, how do they do it? Well, the chip is not the microchip is not the mark of the beast. However, everything we do is part going to be can be incorporated in the mark of the beast system. Can I buy or sell? Okay, you got this global currency as people, especially the young and the educated, are going for these chips, bitcoins. Um, they're racing toward the non-physical cashless society. All right, Jerusalem, its final target. He will establish control over Israel and desecrate the third temple. That is amazing. At this time, as far as I know, there is no third temple. So do we have 20, 30, 50 years, 40 years? How long would it take to from today unto then? Now, I want to point out, it says temple. Uh, but you know, you got the tabernacle and you got the temple. Now the tabernacle can be a tent. So the Jews at some point can set up a tabernacle like they did in the wilderness when they get things together before they set up temple. So can they get started before and can that be considered a temple? So it's something to consider, but we see that Second Thessalonians 2:4 speaks of the desecration. So we got that scripture. Say hi. Okay. He will demand worship from the whole world, Revelation 13:8. That is significant. So that is global. Will there be dissent? There will be at some point in time. Because we know the war started. So how much control will he gain? How many people will he break down? Will he be the global Führer, the Hitler of the globe? But appears to be some dissent, but dissent can end in death. All right, Jesus will return to Jerusalem to destroy him. Zechariah 14:3 through 4, Revelation 19:20. So we see that coming. So I got some friends that believe that Jerusalem is the mystery Babylon. I totally disagree with them, love them, but I totally disagree with them. They believe that, I'm sure in the scripture where the great whore is a city sitting on 7 hills. Israel has 7 hills. So does Denver, but so does the Vatican. And I believe it's the Vatican that is the great whore and will be destroyed because Jesus returns to Jerusalem. He doesn't return to the great whore. And the great whore is destroyed. And the great whore is not one and the same with Jerusalem. All right. Conclusion for this, and I will go into another one. Where will the Antichrist come from? All right. The Bible gives clues, but no absolute answer. However, the strongest theory suggests Roman, European origin. It will rise from a revised Roman Empire, Daniel 9:26. Syrian, Middle Eastern connection. He could be Muslim or a Middle Eastern ruler, Daniel 8:11. Jewish connection. He could be Jewish or have Jewish ancestry, John 5:43. 2 Thessalonians 2:4. Regardless of his exact origins, the Antichrist will deceive the world, unite political and religious power, and persecute Christians and Jews. His reign will be short-lived. I mean, if you look at it, the 7 years of tribulation, 3.5 gives us his power, then God disrupts it. I mean, it's all that for your soul. No, sir. That Jesus Christ will destroy him at his return, Revelation 19:20. So thank God it would be cut short. It will be a living hell for those who believe in God and trust in God for salvation and strength. So I say he can be all of the above. He can be of Syrian background, rising up from the former Roman Empire. Look at what the makeup of Rome is now. I mean, Rome or the Roman Empire in Europe. All types of nationalities um, are over there, and they are mixed. Um, it could be Jewish, Syrian, Roman. So it's nothing that I feel that you have to put a nail in it and say this is it. Anybody else say anything else is a liar or they don't know what they're talking about. So let me know what you think about that. All right, final thought. How should Christians prepare? I was specific in Matthew 24, 4-5. Watch for the signs. All right, Jesus warned of deception, so you watch as well as pray. Do not be deceived. Antichrist will perform miracles. Don't go for the miracles. Go for the scripture. Okay, raise the dead, whatever you might do. Fire, call down from heaven. Ooh, ah. 2 Thessalonians 2, 9-10. Stay faithful. People have lost their minds. If you look at it, they can't tell a woman for a man. They don't know their right hand for their left. It's upended. And that is a perfect state of confusion that someone can come in and be their Lord and Savior. All right, so we must endure to the end, Matthew 24:13. Look to Christ's return. Look past the troubles that are coming, and you have to look for the hill, look up, your redemption is nigh. Can't dwell on the pain and suffering to come, because that will focus you on the wrong thing. Christ promised us there will be tribulations. So we got that promise from the living God. Be aware and stand with God as you go through these. Many, and I've watched many stories of those who went through the Holocaust, just horrible things they went through. And many lost faith in God. How could God allow it? Well, he told you it was coming. He told you. How could God let a baby die? Because you look at it, the will of the people, we have free will. The will of the people to hurt someone is there. But it's our will to stand up and stop those that we can. Okay? And how we can. Sometimes that's suffering versus suffering. But it goes on. You have to do something, in right-minded and prayer. Thank God that President Trump signed that order, executive order saying there's only two genders. That is a major victory. It only stands as long as he's there, though. The next president can undo it unless we can get Congress to pass a bill that turns into a law that brings back common sense. The Antichrist rule will end when Jesus comes in power and glory. Revelation 19:11-21. So consider that. Whatever you're going through, keep going. Don't give up. Don't get into despair. All right. Would you like to deeper analysis of modern politics or religious movement? Let me know. That could be laying the groundwork for the Antichrist. Right? What do you want to hear from me? How can I help your faith grow? What do we need to focus on? All right. I do politics. I do religion. If that's your thing, let me know. Let me know your opinion, and let me know how we can go from here. I'm gonna get through with this one. I'm doing a little marathon today, so Let's see. What is the other one? All right, let's go. Still going. The sun is on this one. Bad angle right there. Say hi. All right, to piggyback on that, uh, what is the makeup of the Antichrist? Look at who is the little horn. The little horn speaks of the Antichrist, we believe. So let's go and get into that. All right, summary of the little horn. I want to bring out a summary so we on the same page of what we're going to talk about. Um, it says summary of the little horn. I was gonna get rid of that music, but I don't feel like doing the genetics. Genetics. Can't get it right. Revelation, summary of the little horn, Revelation's beast and the end time prophecy. All right, the little horn is in Daniel 7 and 8, and the beast in Revelation 13 and 17 are closely connected. Both symbolize the Antichrist and his final world empire. Daniel's vision describes a ruler who arises from a revived Roman Empire, speaks blasphemous words against God, persecutes the saints, and rules for 3.5 years before being destroyed by Christ. Revelation expands on this vision, revealing a beast empowered by Satan who will establish a global government, economic system, and religious deception, forcing people to take the mark of the beast to buy or sell. Okay, so that's a little bit of the summary. Let's see. All right, get this out of the way. This is in the way. Can't get that out of the way. All right. The revised Roman Empire, the European Union, United Nations, maybe a combination thereof, um, world councils of churches, that sort of thing, and globalist movements, Great Reset, the World Economic Forum, are setting the stage for a one world government controlled by the Antichrist. I do believe that. Look at the World Forum. Look at Klaus, whatever his name is. I might have him in here now. Basically telling you, get ready to eat bugs, you're going to lose your rights, and you're going to enjoy it. Maybe I can get some direct quotes coming up in the next, saying hi to people here, in the next series that I put on. But it's not for you that the global government is being set up. It's for them, and it's going to be set up on your back as the mighty and powerful, rich, perverted leaders of the world tell you, dictate to you what you will and will not do. Every nation must bow down to their system. All right, the mark of the beast system, the push for central bank digital currency, CBCDs, another thing Trump shut down. Beautiful. Cashless economies, implantable microchips, and digital IDs show how economic control could be enforced as prophesied in Revelation 13. Stop right there for a minute and say, I don't believe this. Go back to COVID and how your fellow citizen ratted you out if you didn't have your mask on. How they drove in their own car with the windows rolled up with a mask on because they were so fearful. And it only takes something like that to bring about pressure from your fellow man and woman, your fellow person, to rat you out. We know by watching communist countries that and the Holocaust, we know that your own sons and daughters, out of ignorance, out of indoctrination, can rat you out, can turn you over, even though they might suffer. North Korea, you say the wrong thing, a child say the wrong thing in school, it gets reported. Family gets shipped off to concentration camps. That's a report. So don't say it can't happen. Remember, it has happened, and I believe it will happen again in the future. All right. The Antichrist rise. Authoritarian leaders, global deception, AI-driven surveillance, and the worship of political figures suggest that the world is being conditioned for a charismatic, deceptive ruler. All right. We like people who are big and bigger than life. All right. Bill Clinton was very popular, very, very popular. Okay. Obama was very, very popular. You get the Bushes, they just was on policy. Um, and then also with the first Bush, to me, Skull and Bones, he was he's part of the establishment. He was chosen to serve. Okay. Then, like I said, again, you got Obama. Even I love what Trump is doing, but even his personality, Trump, is bigger than life. So you get someone like a Trump, in which it mirrors across um, countries. You get someone larger than life. You go through and you see that type of personality crops up everywhere. So combination of Obama, Clinton, um, rock star, um, Trump in the European Union. Think of that. He got all the charisma, he got all the fame, got all the looks, maybe, and doesn't quite like women. So this guy is going to be something else for whatever that reason, however that fits it. Okay. Again, it's authoritarian leader, global deception, AI driven surveillance. It's coming everywhere. It's going to be on your cell phone, your microwave, your television, your your car, everything you do, your refrigerator. I mean, it's coming. Your child toys. Okay. And the worship of the political figures suggests that the world is being conditioned for a charismatic sexual world. So again, it is coming and it's coming fast. How many years we have before this happens? Some of you say, okay, I don't believe this mumbo jumbo writing that some sheep herder wrote 2,000 years ago. Okay, done. Don't look at all the dots coming into play, being connected. Put your head in the ground, don't look around. Persecution of Christians. Governments are increasingly criminalizing biblical values. Look at Europe. Look at Great Britain. When they, thank God, J.D. Vance went over there and spanked them. They are persecuting us, and I'm going to get a video in a little bit of for what we say, threatening to come to America, they can't even fight their own battles. They need Americans. So we need someone to stand up to the Europeans and say, shut up, sit down. That no, we have freedom of speech online and offline, and we're not putting up with pay your own bills, pay your own military buildup. Without us, you ain't making it. All right. Promoting interfaith religion, Chrislam. I don't know if you ever heard of Chrislam. That is where Christianity and Islam come together. Perfect union. Garbage. It's a perversion of religion, of both religions. Persecuting Christians, fulfilling Daniel 7:25 and Revelation 17:6. Wars and global instability. Okay. The Russian-Ukrainian war, the China-Taiwan tensions. The next 5 years, that is going to come to the head. Next 5 to 10 years, that's going to come to the head. Maybe soon. Middle Eastern conflicts. Hey, Turkey is talking about going down to Gaza and taking on Israel. Uh-huh. And increasing natural disasters match Jesus' prophecy of wars, rumors of wars, and birth pains leading up to the Great Tribulation, Matthew 24:68. So those that say it was written by a bunch of goat herders and they don't know what they're talking about, they're blind leading the blind. All right, that's how this ties together. The signs of the end time. Signs of the end times are rapidly aligning with biblical prophecy. The revived global empire, economic system of controlled and rising persecutions suggests that the Antichrist reign, is approaching. While no one knows the exact time, Matthew 24:36 tells us that, believers must stay watchful, rooted in Christ, and share the gospel as the world moves closer to the fulfillment of Revelation prophecy. Now, many people just want to be entertained. They come to TikTok, they come to YouTube, Facebook, just want to be entertained. And that's, you know, it can be a distraction and just, yeah, you distract yourself, but that's what they live for. None of the grit, none of the get down and dirty. How can I change my world and for the better? Um, so this is one way. Keep up with what's going on, but don't get depressed. Don't let it overwhelm you. Our biblical scriptures on the Antichrist, the little horn, and related references. The concept of the Antichrist and the little horn appears throughout both the Old and New Testament. Different prophetic books, especially Daniel, Second Thessalonians, and Revelation, describe a coming ruler who opposes God, deceives nations, and establishes a blasphemous global system. Again, you're looking at economic, religious, and governmental. The three pillars. Once you gain control of that, you gain control of the world. The little horn, Daniel's prophecies. Daniel 7:7-8. After this I saw in the night vision, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them, another little horn, before whom there were three of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things. All right, interpretation. The little horn arises from the fourth beast, which represents the final empire before God's kingdom. This figure is often associated with the Antichrist, who exalts himself above God. So we see this. We're told it's coming, but what are you doing about it? They are lukewarm Christians, and I am not the best one. I'm a sinner saved by grace with many mistakes. But we have to focus and strengthen one another. It could be as simple as getting together on a Zoom call and sharing a Bible study without a lot of bitching and out friction, but just to enjoy one another. Going to church finding a local church, finding a local fellowship, and with the right intention and guard yourself. One of these days, I'll get into tithing, which I disagree with. How they do it is it's a money scheme today that's not necessary for today, and it took years for me to learn this. But One of the days we're going to teach on it. Hopefully you'll be there to listen. All right, let's go through this.
Now, Daniel 7. Who are the four beasts, and who is the little horn? Daniel 7 is...
like I said, I like the presentation and to the most part, but he is a Seventh-day Adventist. One day we'll get into the seventh day where they did go wrong. They're still under the law. We are freed from the law. They are under the law, and by being under the law, they cannot fulfill the law, any of it, but they still put themselves under the law. Here we go. Oop, did I skip it?
Daniel 7. Who are the four beasts, and who is the little horn? Daniel 7 is a parallel prophecy to Daniel 2. The 10 horns and the little horn are an expansion, giving us more details to what to look out for in these last days. Let's get started. Daniel 7:4. The first was like a lion and had eagle's wings. The first beast of Daniel 7 is a lion, and again this is Babylon with King Nebuchadnezzar. Daniel 7:5. And behold another beast, a second like to a bear, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it between the teeth of it. The second beast, the bear, is Medo-Persia. The 3 ribs represent the sides on which they rule, the west, north, and the south.
Oops.
Daniel 7:6. I beheld, and lo, another, a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads. The third beast, the leopard, is Greece, with the leader Alexander the Great. The 4 heads represent the 4 major generals under Alexander. Daniel 7:7. And behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and had great iron teeth, and it had 10 horns. The 4th beast represents the Roman Empire. Notice how it had iron, just like the Roman Empire of Daniel 2 had iron. The 10 horns that stem from Rome are again the 10 nations or kingdoms that rise up after the fall of the Roman Empire to make up the European kingdoms.
All right. So he goes over the makeup of those 4 kingdoms. All right, let's go a little further now. All right, Daniel 7:24-25. Okay. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall arise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. He's going to kill the Christians. He's going to kill the believers of God, of Christ. And think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and dividing of times. Interpretation. The little horn is a ruler who persecutes God's people and seeks to change laws and religious observations. The phrase times, and dividing of times refers to 3.5 years, aligning with other end time prophecies. And now we're going to get into this. The Seventh Day do somewhat of a good job of bringing this together, but I think they go too far in their beliefs. In some way, it reminds me of Herbert W. Armstrong and his teaching. But let's go.
The little city known as the Vatican, which is home to the Roman Catholic Church and its Pope. It's a little horn, or a little city, but it's powerful. So powerful that it plucked out 3 of the 10 kingdoms, or horns. Verse 8. Before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. This prophetic saying means that the little horn will claim authority and infallibility over all others, even kings, claiming even to this day to be the head of Christ's church, the substitute of Messiah, the vicar of Christ, claiming to be again infallible and without error, with no room to ever be challenged or questioned. The Catholic Church and its Pope have stood by this to this very day. This little horn makes war with the saints, killing thousands of lives for not converting and obeying the Pope. Daniel 7:21. I behold, and the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them. This little horn changes even the times and seasons. Daniel 7:25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and think to change times and laws. We know that the papacy boasts of changing the Sabbath, the law of the Sabbath, from the seventh day to the first day of the week, Sunday. Along.
That's what again, where I differ. I don't see the little horn as the Vatican. I see the Vatican as a mystery Babylon, the whore, but not the little horn. The little horn I see as a person, and that's my difference with them on that. And they're going to go over a little bit of a history, and I don't exactly agree with that either, but just wanted to bring it out, showing that there are different ways of looking at it, but you have to be careful, especially with the seventh day. I said a lot of the teaching, I believe, is some of it's heresy, just false. Because again, they nail it down like this is absolute truth when it's not to consider it, but this is their faith.
The little city known as the Vatican.
Okay, I'll just skip that. The man of sin, Paul's warning about the Antichrist. 2 Thessalonians 2:3-4, King James Version. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Who opposes and exalts himself above all that is called God or that is worship, so that he is as God, sitting in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. So, let no man deceive you. All right, so this brings me to another point I like to make. Millions of Christians, especially in America, Left Behind and all that series, believe that the rapture will happen first. I totally disagree. And it's going to be a sad day when they realize they're stuck and they actually have to live the life of Jesus Christ, and they can't just run away. God's not going to just pluck them out of the furnace. That they're going to have to go through at least 3.5 years of the Antichrist. I believe more on the mid-tribulation rapture, pre-wrath. I do believe in the rapture, don't get me wrong, but not the great escape that is being preached across America. The problem with that is if you don't prepare for the bad things that come, and I give this another misguided so-called Christian group, the Mormons. They are prepared. They are prepared for the long haul. They got the toilet paper, they got the food, the canned goods, and they buy it slowly and they put it in cellars. At least the ones out there in the Midwest. Christians are not. It's going to hit them hard. They're not preparing. They're not prepared. And if you think you're going to get away before the flood hits, the flood of sin, destruction, and decay, that means you're not really preparing for it. That's the bad thing about Left Behind series and all that. We're going through up to the point, I believe, of the wrath of God pouring out. So that could be another series. That can be another uh, walkthrough. Let me know what your thoughts are, what you like to hear. Am I wrong? What have you been taught? What do you believe? And how uh, do you think this is going to all pan out? Do you believe in God? There is no God. Let's dive into atheism. You know, atheists is another another belief system. They don't want to hear that, but you believe that there is no God. You have no proof. And then, well, prove that it is a God. They don't have to. You know, you will see that rock. I can tell you a rock is falling from space, and you say, I don't believe it. I don't see it. Okay. When the rock hits you on the side of the head, then you believe it. But it'll be too late. All right. Interpretation. Paul describes the Antichrist as the man of sin, son of perdition, who will proclaim himself to be God in the temple. This aligns with the abomination of desolation described as Daniel and Jesus' Olivet discourse. So we got something coming. We got things that are tied together. But Lord help us. The people that go to church every day, they don't believe the Bible. Go through and you talk to Presbyterian, the Universalists. You go, and maybe you can do a series on that. You go and you talk to the Methodists, the Lutherans. Um, it's a sad thing. It's a sad day for Christianity, not America. I mean, it's a sad day for America because American Christians aren't really Christians much. Um, we're all sinners, but you got to know the truth somehow. If you don't see the train coming and you land on the tracks, it's going to hurt. So,
There was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion, which shall not pass away, and his kingdom shall not be destroyed.
all right, so that's 2 Thessalonians 2, 8 through 10. And then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, they might be saved. So, again, get back to it's coming. We will see the unveiling of the Antichrist. Um, which is amazing. Um, do I want to? No, I want to be gone. I would like to be raptured out. However, it doesn't appear to be so. So, how can you? I mean, there's physical things that you can do, and don't get me wrong. Oh my goodness, they sell. It's a product. Christianity has become a portion of it. Consumer goods. Get this 12-day pack of food. Which don't get me wrong. Dry food may be wonderful, but what if you run from your house? What if you're driven from your house into the wilderness or into the street because you don't have the mark? What if they take away your car, your keys, separate you from your family? What I'm saying is, you're not prepared. We're not prepared. We need to do more praying, asking God for revelation and direction. We're not ready. All right, interpreting Antichrist operates through Satan's power, performing false miracles to deceive those who reject the truth of God.
These three horns or kingdoms, which were destroyed by the papacy, history tells us, are the Vandals, the Ostrogoths of central Italy, and the Lombards of northern Italy. Verse 8 goes on to tell us more details of this little horn. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things. This prophetic saying means that the little horn will claim authority and infallibility over all others, even kings, claiming even to this day to be the head of Christ's church, the substitute of Messiah, the vicar of Christ, claiming to be again infallible and without error, with no room to ever be challenged or questioned.
Now, again, what I differ with the seventh day on this is they're making the Vatican City the little horn and not, the Pope. The Pope is not the little horn, I believe. The Vatican City is the Mystery Babylon. It is that 50 core that God will destroy through the Antichrist. But they are historical facts. I don't think line up to be what the little horn was. The beast, Revelation end time ruler. Revelation 13, 1 through 2. All right. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And upon his head, 7 heads and 10 horns. He got 7 heads, he has 10 horns. And upon his horns, 10 crowns. So each horn had a crown. And upon his heads, the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and his great authority. All right, so we get the seat of Satan, the seat of the dragon, great authority, great power, the throne of Satan. What he offered Jesus Christ and Christ turned down, he now gives to this Antichrist, this miserable person. All right, so it's coming, and he comes up out of the sea and see. Pretty sure the scripture brings out that we're gonna run into it. Sea is a multitude of people. 7 billion people is a lot of people. That's a sea of people. The beast represents a global empire backed by Satan, the dragon. It embodies characteristics from Daniel's 4 beasts, meaning it will consolidate world power. All right. If you look back at the beast, if you look back at the statue, it was a leopard, it was a lion, it was a bear, and mention everything but the eagle. Or well, not the eagle, but the that ugly beast beyond description.
Yeshua is in these last days given authority to rule over all the earth, bringing an end to the apostate church and the Gentile kingdoms ruling the earth, and the Father giving it all authority to the King of Kings, Yeshua. Daniel 7, verse 13 and 14.
All right. All right, Revelation 13, 5 to 7. And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 40 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. Power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. Interpretation. The Antichrist blasphemes God, rules for 42 months, 3.5 years, and wages war against believers. So we see this coming. And people say, well, when is it going to come? Been said so long ago, for 2,000 years. Uh, Noah preached for a very long time. Some say 120 years, different things like that. God gives warning after warning after warning after warning after warning after warning. You don't end up in hell because God put you there. You end up in hell because you're running off the stop signs. Stop, turn around, go the other way, one way. You're going straight down a one-way street the wrong way with your pedal to the metal, and you're blasting through all the cautionary signs that God has put out in your life, people, places, and things, and you don't give a hoot. And when you crash through that barrier, that last barrier, and over that crest, that drop into the abyss, God is not to blame. Happy landing. I don't want to be there. All right. Sure. Okay. Revelation 13, 16 through 18. And he calls all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here's wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Interpretation. The mark of the beast, 666, is enforced by the Antichrist system, controlling all economic transactions. So how that's going to take place, no one really truly knows. But the mechanisms are being set up to enforce it. The mechanism you should see in China, there is experimenting with so many surveillance platforms. In the UK, in different areas, you see it coming, but do you recognize it? It's coming to America. It's coming everywhere. Where, oh man, if thank God Kamala Harris didn't win, but when you see how they play it out, um, you see a transformation that gives us, look, 4 years of a reprieve, hopefully. But my thing is, and this is um, my mindset, just like with COVID, they dropped on us doing Trump's first 4 years. Things could happen overnight. It could be, we can go from bad to worse. Things can go bad, really quick. That's what I'm saying. So we can only pray for the best, prepare for the worst. By the abomination of desolation, Jesus' warning in the gospel. Matthew 24:15 through 16. When you therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place. Whosoever readeth, let him understand. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Interpretation. Jesus confirms Daniel's prophecy about an evil ruler desecrating the temple, which will signal the start of the Great Tribulation. Okay, so some want to put that in the past where the Romans came through, but they didn't really desecrate it. They tore it down, set it on fire, and all that good stuff. But this, I believe, is future. That's right. All right. Historical and church teachings on the Antichrist. Early church fathers, 2nd and 5th century. Irenaeus, Against Heresies, Book 5, Chapter 30, believed the Antichrist would be a political and religious ruler controlling commerce and worship. Okay, I'm going to mess up his name. Hippopolis. Okay, forgive me. On Christ and in this book on Christ and Antichrist, identify the Little horn as the final world ruler before Christ's return. Reformation leaders of the 16th and 17th century, Martin Luther and John Calvin, identified the papacy as the Antichrist system, which had political and religious control of nations. Just don't drop this on John Calvin. If you're Calvinist, it's not the gospel. We can debate it all day or discuss it, whichever you want. All right, modern teaching. Many scholars and theologians see the Antichrist as a global leader who will emerge in the end times, deceiving the world through political power, false religion, and economic. The problem with these religious leaders is the money bag, the tithing, the offering, the I send you this to do that. And don't get me wrong. If you buy their books, you should pay them. Um, if they do the work, that sort of thing. But when they tied in, they are some of the best car salesmen. They can sell you a cloth, a piece of rag, a cross that was that was part of Paul, Peter, James, and John. I mean, they can sell you anything these days. The Antichrist's role in the end times. The Antichrist, the little horn, the man of sin, and the beast are interconnected figures, all pointing to a final world ruler who will oppose God, persecute his people, and enforce a one world system. The Antichrist, the little horn, man of sin, the beast, all right, all points to the same person. The Antichrist, the little horn, the man of sin, the beast. Key takeaways. Daniel, little horn, a rising dictator who blasphemed God and persecutes the saints. Second Thessalonian, man of sin, a false Messiah claiming divine status. Revelation, beast and mark. The final world empire enforcing economic and religious control. Jesus' warning, a future desolation in the temple marking the Great Tribulation. The Bible warns believers to remain steadfast in faith, reject deception, and trust in Christ's return, where he will defeat the Antichrist and establish his person. It's like holding on. You're out there, your boat overturned, and you're hanging on for dear life. You got sharks in the water and all type of monsters, and you kids can't give up. You give up, you sink it to the deep. But if you hang on, help is on the way. Might not come when you want him, but he's always on time. All right, the little horn. The little horn is a prophetic figure mentioned in the book of Daniel, symbolizing a ruler or kingdom that rises to power and opposes God's people. The little horn appears in two visions, Daniel 7 and Daniel 8. Say hi. All right. Daniel 8:7. I considered the little horn, and behold, I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were three of the first horns plucked up by their roots. Daniel 7:11. Then I continued to watch because of the boastful words the little horn was speaking. Daniel 7:20. And of the other horn that came up, before whom three fell, even of that horn that had eyes and a mouth that spoke very great things. Daniel 8:9. And out of one of them came forth a little horn, which waxed exceeding great toward the south, toward the east, and toward the pleasant land. Thus, the Bible directly mentions a little horn 4 times in Daniel 7 and 8. So we know he's going to push toward the south, toward the east, and toward the pleasant land. Who is the little horn? There are two separate little horns in Daniel's vision, but both represent powerful, oppressive rulers who defy God and persecute his people. Again, the Presbyterian, they do good on history, but they don't do good. They Preterists, they don't see any future. In Revelation, they think it's all happened in the past. They say, don't be scared. There's nothing to be scared of, but you need to sink deeper in Christ. Daniel 7, little horn. Uproots three other horns, overthrows three rulers, speaks boastful, blasphemous words against God, persecutes the saints, and challenges and changes times and sees laws. Persecutes the saints and changes times and laws. Reigns for a time and a half time, 3.5 years, 42 months, 1,260 days. Ends with the divine judgment. Just like it's amazing. I mean, to rule the world for 3.5 years ain't worth it. To be in hell for the next eternity, short-sighted. But hey, many things we do are short-sighted. Common interpretation: many identify this as the Antichrist, papacy, or a future world leader who will rise in the end time. So now we're on Daniel 8. Okay, I do not know how to get this out of the way. Oh, that's awesome. I moved that. All right, comes from. Let's turn. All right, I'll have to end this one here. Battery died. Stop streaming. Finish. Okay, that's my YouTube. 59 views. 5p. All right, let's process. Charge up later. All right, how we doing over there? Rumble and TikTok is still going. All right, Daniel 8, little horn, comes from one of the four divisions of Alexander the Great's empire, Greek kingdoms, expands its power to south, east, and to the pleasant land, Israel. Identifies itself against God, removes the daily sacrifices, desecrates the sanctuary, lasts for 2,300 evenings and mornings before the sanctuary is cleansed. Wow. Common interpretation: this refers to Antiochus IV Epiphanes, the Seleucid king who desecrated the Jewish temple in 167 BC, leading to the Maccabean revolt. I tend to agree with that. Some of my friends do not. The little horn in time. All right, Daniel 7, the little horn is likely a symbol of the Antichrist, who will arise in the last days, oppose God, and establish a corrupt global system. Excuse me. And Antiochus IV historically fulfilled Daniel's 8th little horn, but also foreshadows the Antichrist and the end time. The little horn is ultimately a representation of rebellion against God, oppression of his people, and the rise of blasphemous power that will be destroyed by God's judgment. Daniel 7:26 through 27. Alexander the Great's death. I won't go too much through this, but it's like, because it came up during our Bible study. After Alexander the Great's death in 323 BC, his vast empire was left without a clear successor. His generals, known as the Kochi, messing that up too. Successors fought over the control of his territories in the war of the Diadochi, excuse me.
Yeshua is in these last days given authority to rule over all the earth, bringing an end to the apostate church and the Gentile kingdoms ruling the earth, and the Father giving it all authority to the King of Kings, Yeshua. Daniel 7, verse 13 and 14.
Notable survivors and their fate. Now, we still on Alexander the Great. I won't go through this too much, but it was amazing to me. You read history, you learn, and you don't quite get it. Cleopatra, they try to make her black, but she was of Greek, Syrian descent. It was Greeks. They conquered land, some intermarried, some married the people. But they're not African. Her ancestors, Cleopatra, was sent there, married, or from the Seleucid Empire, came down to the Ptolemy Empire, married, and then perpetuated the kingdom. So I won't go through all this. Those are the leaders that came up. The little horn is a prophetic figure. The little horn is a prophetic figure mentioned in the book of Daniel, symbolizing a ruler or kingdom that rises to power and opposes God's people. The little horn appears in two visions, Daniel 7 and Daniel 8. Mentions of the little horn. The term little horn appears 4 times in Daniel 7 and Daniel 8. Daniel 7, 8. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. Daniel 7:11. Then I continued to watch because of the boastful words the little horn was speaking. Daniel 7:20. And of the other horn that came up, before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes and a mouth that spoke very great things. Daniel 8:9. And out of one of them came forth a little horn, which waxed exceeding great toward the south and toward the east and toward the pleasant land. Thus, the Bible directly mentions a little horn in 4 times in Daniel 8 and 7. All right. Cover that. Who is the little horn? There are 2 separate little horns in Daniel's vision. Both represent powerful, oppressive rulers who defy God and persecute his people. Daniel 7, little horn, rises from the 4th beast Roman Empire among 10 horns, 10 kingdoms, or 10 kings of kingdoms. Uproots 3 horns, overthrows 3 rulers, speaks boastful, blasphemous words against God, persecutes the saints, and changes times and laws. Reigns for a time and half a time. 3.5 years, 42 months, 1,260 days. Ends with divine judgment. Common interpretation, many identify this as the Antichrist prophecy or future book. All right, just going over, reinforcing that. Daniel 8 little horn comes from one of the four divisions of Alexander the Great's empire, Greek kingdoms, expands its power south and to the pleasant land, Israel, magnifies itself against God, removes the daily sacrifices, desecrates sanctuary. Lasts for 2,300 evenings and mornings before the sanctuary is cleansed. Common interpretation is referred to Antiochus IV, the Seleucid king who desecrated the Jewish temple in 167 BC, leading to the Maccabean revolt. Little horn in Daniel's prophecy. The little horn appears in two visions. Daniel 7, little horn from the fourth. This is interesting to me. Daniel 7 talking about the Romans, and then Daniel 8 goes back and talks about the Greeks. I think that confuses people. That's where it appears to be. All right. Verses from the fourth beast, which represents the Roman Empire, comes up among 10 horns, symbolizing 10 kings or kingdoms. Plucks out 3 horns, meaning it overthrows 3 rulers. Has eyes like a man and speaks great words against God. Persecutes the saints for a times and half a time, 3.5 years, 1,260 days. Is ultimately judged and destroyed by God. Interpretation. This little horn represents a blasphemous, powerful ruler or system that emerges from Rome, opposes God, and persecutes believers. Many see this as type of the Antichrist. Just checking on everybody. The little horn and end times. Daniel 7's vision is likely a symbol of the Antichrist, who will arise in the last days, oppose God, and establish a corrupt global system. Daniel 8's little horn was historically fulfilled by Antiochus IV, but is also foreshadows the Antichrist in the end time. Really want to get into the Presbyterian, how they can dance around this. The little horn is ultimately a representation of rebellion against God, opposition to his people, and the rise of blasphemous power that will be destroyed by God's judgment. Daniel 7, 23-7. Daniel 8, the little horn from the Greek Empire, arises from one of the 4 divisions of Alexander the Great's empire, grows great toward the southeast and the pleasant land, Israel, magnifies itself against God, stops the daily sacrifices, and desecrates the temple, is eventually judged and defeated. Interpretation. The little horn historically refers to Antiochus IV, a Seleucid king who desecrated the Jewish temple in 167 BC. However, is also foreshadows the future Antichrist. Reinforce that. The beast in Revelation. Beast in Revelation builds upon Daniel's vision, expanding his role in the end time. Revelation 13, the first beast, Antichrist, rises up out of the sea just like Daniel's beast. Has 10 horns and 7 heads, just like Daniel's 4 beasts. Speaks great and blasphemous things against God, just like the little horn. Has power for 42 months, 3.5 years, the same time as a little horn. Persecutes the saints. Receives a daily wound, sees a deadly wound, but is healed, causing the world to worship him. Significant. Is given power by the dragon, Satan. Interpretation. The beast of Revelation 13 is a direct parallel to the little horn, showing that they are the same entity, a final blasphemous ruler who rules in rebellion against God. All right, Revelation 17, the scarlet beast. final world government. Has 7 heads and 10 horns, same imagery as Daniel and Revelation 13. It's written by the great harlot, Mystery Babylon, showing political, religious corruption. The 10 horns are 10 kings who give their power to the beast. The beast rises from the abyss and goes to destruction. Interpretation. This vision confirms that the little horn and the beast are connected to a final global empire led by the Antichrist. Connecting the little horn to the beast and the end time. Shared characteristics. Blaspheme against God. Persecutes the saint. Rules for 3.5 years. Linked to 10 kingdoms. Rises out of an empire. Rome, Greece. Ultimately judged and destroyed. The parallels confirm that the little horn of Daniel and the beast of Revelation refer to the same end time figure, the Antichrist. The role of the Antichrist in the end time rises from a revived Roman Empire, Daniel 7, Revelation 17, overthrows kings and takes control, Daniel 7:24, blasphemes God and demands worship, Daniel 7:25, Revelation 13:6, persecutes believers, Daniel 7:25, Revelation 13:7, receives power from Satan, Revelation 13:2, rules for 3.5 years during the Great Tribulation, Daniel 7:25, Revelation 13:5, defiles the the temple. Daniel 11, Matthew 24:15, is ultimately destroyed by Jesus Christ at his return, Daniel 7:26, Revelation 19:20. The little horn, Antichrist, rises from a global empire. He makes a 7-year covenant, Daniel 9:27, but breaks it after 3.5 years. The Great Tribulation begins. Antichrist persecutes believers and demands worship. The mark of the beast is enforced. Revelation 13:16 through 18. Jesus returns, defeats the beast and false prophet, and establishes his kingdom. Revelation 19:20, Daniel 7:26 through 27. End time timeline. The end time. Should have that. Take away. The little horn in Daniel 7 represent the final Antichrist, ruling a revived Roman Empire. The beast of Revelation 13 and 17 expands this vision, showing his global control. Both prophecies describe the same end time ruler whom Jesus will destroy at his return. The little horn equals the beast, the Antichrist, who will rise in the last days, oppose God, rule for 3.5 years before being destroyed by Christ. The little horn, the beast, and modern events, a detailed breakdown of Revelation's prophecies unfolding today. The little horn, Daniel 7 and 8, and the beast, Revelation 13 and 17, both symbolize the Antichrist, a ruler of or system that will dominate in the end time. Understand how these prophecies connect to modern global events requires examining political, technological, economic, and religious shifts that align with biblical prophecy. The revived Roman Empire, globalism, and the rise of a one world government. Biblical prophecy, Daniel 7:23-24. The final kingdom will be a revived version of the Roman Empire. Revelation 17:12-13. 10 kings, leaders, will give their power to the beast. Revelation 13:7. The beast will have global authority. Modern developments. European Union, EU, and the United Nations, UN. The EU is often seen as a continuation of the Roman Empire's Western leg. The UN's push for global governance aligns with the prophecy about a final world government. The Great Reset, World Economic Forum, WEF, calls for a reset of the world economy, governance, and currency to create a one world system. This matches Revelation's depiction of the beast control over global commerce. Biden's push for globalism and digital IDs. The U.S. is aligning itself more with international governance, reducing national sovereignty. Thank God he's out. But we still have mechanisms that going forward. Rise of artificial intelligence, AI, and governance. Excuse me. The AI can multiply what a man can do, what a person can do. In other words, the computer is always on. It's always powered. They are, I don't know if you know, they are creating power systems, nuclear power plants, just to power the AI. Okay, imagine a whole power plant just to power an AI system. That is enormous. Instead of powering a whole region, a whole grid system, they're going to power just Microsoft, just Twitter. It's amazing. With that type of power, the scope is limitless in many ways. The rise of artificial intelligence, AI and governance. AI-driven governance could pave the way for a central authority, Antichrist will, with unprecedented control. It's dark. It's something else. The groundwork for a revived global empire is being laid through globalist institutions that mirror the 10 kings of Revelation 17. Mark of the Beast and Digital Pro. Biblical prophecy, Revelation 13, 16 through 18. No one can buy or sell unless they receive the mark of the beast. Imagine your COVID-19 passport, but tattooed on your forehead, right hand. Imagine the rapture doesn't come at the beginning, it comes in the middle. You will have to face the decision. And as the Hebrew children, as they are called, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, serve God. You want to obey. Revelation 13, 16 through 18. No one can buy or sell unless they receive the mark of the beast. Revelation 14, 9 through 11. Those who take the mark are condemned. They become reprobates. It's no way out. And I've seen MacArthur. Oh, you have to take the mark. Are you? Was that a joke? I mean, is he joking? I mean, I don't think it was a joke. He's a Calvinist. He says some great things, has some great teachings, but I don't know. That's floors. Modern developments, digital currencies and central bank digital currencies, CBDCs. Government and central banks worldwide, including the United States, China, and EU, are moving toward fully digital money. These allow absolute control over financial transactions. Trump signed an executive order, from my understanding, stopping ours at this time. He's only one man. He only got 4 years, less than 4 years now. Social credit system, China's model spreading. In China, citizens are monitored and their access to services, buying, selling, traveling, depends on government approval. Hello. The Democrats, the left, the socialists, the Marxists in America love China in many ways. Look what they did for COVID. They shut the whole nation down, caused more people to die. People committed suicide. People was locked in their homes. It's ridiculous. They was actually boarded up in their own homes. My God, have mercy on us. And the liberals of America, that's the way you do it. Implantable microchip, as they went to the hair salon and the elite restaurants because they were more sophisticated than us, says CNN and the other channels. Implantable MSNBC. Implantable microchips and digital IDs. Companies like Neuralink and Wallet More are developing implantable technology for payments and identification. The European Union Digital ID project is a precursor to global compliance systems. Okay, if it's digital, electronic, it can be hacked. No, thank you. Which for cashless, they're doing it. Cashless society. Governments worldwide are phasing out cash, making it easier to track transactions and enforce a system like Revelation describes. I like Elon Musk and what he done with Doge, but he is for this universal pay. You got to be hooked up in the system, get paid. And once you hooked up, you're monitored for everything you do. You get credit for this, and credit's taken away, I'm sure. So, we got to look into that. So, I hope you are interested in that. I hope you let me know so we can delve into that. The different things that are coming on the scene that ties with the Bible. Okay, that's my focus. I'll do policy analysis all day long, but I want to, for the most part, time into what is going on biblically in the system and how it fulfills what has been said, what has been spoken of. All right, a global digital currency system is forming that will align perfectly with the mark of the beast prophecy, allowing total economic control. All right. The Antichrist rise and the growing power of authoritarian leaders. Biblical prophecy, Daniel 8:25. The little horn rises through deception and flattery. Revelation 13:5-7. The beast is a charismatic, powerful speaker who blasphemes God and persecutes the saints. 2 Thessalonians 2:3-4. The Antichrist exalts himself as God in the temple. Art and developments we get at it. Make sure you go back, so I go forward. Did I get? I think I did that one right. All right, let's go. Modern developments, rise of authoritarian leader. Leaders worldwide are eroding democracy and centralizing power. China's Xi Jinping, messing that up. Russia's Putin, EU bureaucracies, Biden's executive overreach. Which of our political leaders? Some political leaders, Trump, Obama, Zelensky, Zao, have been treated like Masonic figures. And like I said, I'm a Trump supporter, but the way people go after him or anybody else, I'm like, okay, slow down. Because you pour out for one person, you can be acceptable. I support his policies, okay? For the most part. Some things throw me. Greenland, Mexico, Canada, stuff like that. Like, what? But I'm not a great man like he is. I don't think in the great scheme of things. So but he's doing a lot of things that I like. Just want to point that out. But I will criticize any and everybody. You have the right to criticize me. Just be objective about it. Showing how the world could easily follow a falsely. Artificial intelligence and deep fake technology. I want to point out something right now. Those who follow Trump want to push for his third term, and by doing so, they want to, take away. I forgot which amendment that stopped it. That stopped, like, came out the FDR and his big drive, his four, consecutive runs and wins. Once you do that for Trump, you do that for Obama. But you know that. There's many supporters out there for Obama. So, how long do you want a president to be in power? Do it for one, you do it for all. All right. Artificial intelligence and deep fake technology. The Antichrist's ability to see the world would be enhanced by AI, using deep fakes, fake miracles, and AI driven propaganda. Could be fake, but what the Bible says is real. Just want to point it out. They can be doing all kinds of stuff. They can make you seem like this happened when it didn't happen. It's going to be horrific. Come, Lord. Ooh. The world is crying for a charismatic, deceptive world leader, Antichrist, who will unite nations under false peace. They can make things say that just happened and it's not, even happening. Persecution Christians and control of religion. Biblical prophecy. Daniel 7:25, the little horn will persecute the saints. Revelation 17:6, the woman, false religious system, is drunk with the blood of the saints. Revelation 13:8, the whole world will worship the beast. Modern developments. Christian persecution increasing in China, the Middle East, and even Western nations. Christians face increasing legal and social persecution. Again, Great Britain. Guy in Australia made a comment. They flew down to Australia, picked homeboy up, took him to England, and prosecuted him. And they under that system. They wanted to do it to us, but we have to put him in that place. All right. They try to prosecute X, Twitter, because of the platform, because they want to shut down free speech. All right, laws against, and that's why I say this, we cut them off. The Western nations are our welfare states. We provide too much free stuff to them, money and commerce, economy. We have to shut them down to shut them up, put them in that place. Many Western countries, Canada, US, and EU, criminalize biblical teachings on gender, marriage, and morality. True. Popes, interfaith movement, and Christianity and Islam. The push for a unified global religion aligned with Revelation 17's, great harlot, apostate religion supporting the beast. Again, AI-based religious figures, AI-generated gods, and tech-based spirituality could replace traditional worship, aligning with the Antichrist self-exaltation. You now got girlfriends on the, AI girlfriends. Think about AI prophets, AI preachers, teachers. What could they come up with? Anything. It's mind-boggling. Conclusion: the true Christianity is under attack. True Christianity is under attack, while a one-world religion, false prophet system is being prepared. Gotta say hi here. Wars, rumors of wars, and the global conflicts setting the stage. Biblical prophecy. Matthew 24:6-8. Wars, rumors of wars, famines, and earthquakes as the beginnings of sorrows. Revelation 6:4. 6:4. The red horse takes peace from the earth. Ezekiel 38:39. A coalition including, we believe, Russia, Iran, and Turkey attacks Israel. Modern developments: Russia-Ukraine war and NATO tensions. Global military alliances are shifting and World War III concerns are growing. China-Taiwan conflict. China's ambitions over Taiwan could trigger a global conflict. The estimate: we lose at least 2 carriers. Numbers of smaller ships, aircraft, and up to 10,000 American lives for the China-Taiwan conflict. That's a lot. The tension in the world after that is going to be significant. How can we delay? What can we do? Middle Eastern tension. Ezekiel 38 through 39. The rise of Iran, Turkey, and Russia in Syria matches the prophecy of a coming war against Israel. Increase in natural disasters, earthquakes, food shortages, and global instability aligned with end time. Conclusion: the world is on the blink of major war, setting the stage for the Antichrist's rise as a peacemaker. All right. How it all connects. All right, the revived Roman Empire, Daniel 7, Revelation 17. The EU, the UN, and globalist agenda set the stage for a final world government. Mark of the beast, Revelation 13, 16 through 18. The CBDC's digital IDs and AI-driven control systems are forming. The Antichrist's rise, Daniel 8 and 25, Revelation 13. Political chaos and deception. Make the world ready for a strong leader. All this chaos, I got to put together some quotes on what is said. What, people want a strong leader. We want Trump over Biden. Trump is strong. Biden, Kamala is weak, and they're weak in the worst ways. The weak ones take away your freedom because they don't want you expressing yourself outside of what they can control. But it's coming. The Antichrist rise, Daniel 8, 25, Revelation 13. Political chaos and deception make the world ready for a strong leader. Persecution of believers, Daniel 7, 25, Revelation 17, 6. Christian values are under attack, paving the way for a global religious deception. Wars and conflicts, Matthew 24, 6-8, Revelation 6, 4. Russia, China, Iran, and global unrest. My brain ain't working too good. Should have put that there all the time. All right. Are under attack, paving the way for global religious deception. Wars and conflicts, Matthew 24, 6-8, Revelation 6, 4. Russia, China, Iran, and global unrest indicate the wars. Conflict is coming. Like I said, we get into scenarios about how the war is fought, could be fought, will be fought in the coming years where we defend Taiwan. It's a bloodbath. And anytime you get into war, we unveil, God forbid, a world war. We unveil super secrets that we've been holding back. Atomic bomb. We develop weapons and different things that we can throw billions at now because this is more important than anything else. And like I said, there's two things that especially drive the economy: war and disease. The more there's disease, the more you got to put in money into it. COVID-19, we threw $5 billion at it right away. That rapid or whatever it was program that Trump put together. So that is how things go. Can't change it. Only God can. Are we in the end times? Well, no one knows the exact day, Matthew 24, 36. The signs align with biblical prophecy like never before. The only question I have is the temple. How long would it take? When will they find out that the Dome of the Rock is not sitting on the Temple Mount like they think? That's my weakness. And we can get into that one day. All right. What should we do? One, stay watchful, Matthew 24:42. Be aware of global events in light of prophecy. Two, stay rooted in Christ, Ephesians 6, 10 through 18. Stand firm against deception. Share the gospel, Matthew 28:19 through 20. Many are blind to the truth. Four, prepare spiritually and physically. Be ready for difficult times. I'm gonna say this, you might not like it. If you weigh 500 pounds and you have to survive out in the cold and the heat, you get thrown out of your house. That might push you to be more compliant. In the 80s, 90s, you got grandparents. Those suffer the most. Small children. So we got to pray. Pray for mercy, pray for grace, pray for understanding. Bad times are coming. The Ukrainians didn't see it coming, and it came. 9/11 came, and we didn't see it. We got $36.5 trillion in debt. Anything can push the system over where we're back to 1928 to 32. So we got to be mindful, and we got to get ready. Our biblical timeline of the events leading to the tribulation and the rise of the Antichrist. The Bible provides prophetic details about the end time, particularly in Daniel, Matthew 24, 2 Thessalonians, and Revelation. While we cannot set exact dates, we can outline a possible sequence of events based on biblical prophecies. The rise of global instability, pre-tribulation events, Matthew 24, 6 through 8, King James Version. And ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars. Get it all. Wars could break out all the time. See that you be not troubled. All right. Be content. That's hard. Me and anyone else I know. Well, all these things must come to pass. But the end is not yet. Woo-hoo. For nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. There shall be famines, pestilence, COVID-19, and earthquakes in diverse places all over the world. All these are the beginning of sorrows, events, increased wars and geopolitical conflicts, economic collapse and global shortages, rise in pestilence and natural disasters, chaos, moral and spiritual decay, as society embraces wickedness, timing. These events are already unfolding, leading toward the tribulation. The formation of a new global order. Daniel 7, 23 to 24. Thus saith the Lord, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down. Okay. Revelation 13, 7. And it was given to him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them, and power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. Events. The coalition of 10 leaders merge, Daniel 7:24, massive surveillance and control through digital ID, social credit, or economic restrictions. Timing. This could take place shortly before the tribulation. The systems are being set up. Just know that. The systems are being set up. What are you doing? How are you preparing yourself? Are you living day to day in this happy-go-lucky way? City dwellers, especially. Don't get me wrong, farmers can have problems. City dwellers, and I hear this all the time. They think food is found in the supermarket. It's brought to the supermarket, but it's far greater than that. What are you doing to produce this new thing coming out, which I agree, but it shows you the price of eggs. Get a chicken, have a chicken coop, lay your own eggs, but we rely on the system, and the system is not always viable. Okay, you need eggs every day or whatever, and the price is going up. You break that cycle and make yourself dependable. That's one of the goals I'm looking for in the coming years. I'll live long enough. I mean the mid tribulation. All right. First Thessalonians 4:16 through 17. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of God, and the dead in Christ shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the cloud to meet the Lord in the air. So shall we ever be with the Lord. All right. Believers in Christ are taken to be with the Lord. The world descends into chaos and millions vanish. Governments use deception to explain away, disparity, possibly. Time and rapture should occur during the middle 8 stages of the tribulation. Got to suffer for 3.5 years. Living for Christ, living for the truth. All right, the rise of the Antichrist. Daniel 9:27. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. And in the midst of the week, he shall cause the sacrifices and the oblations to cease. And for the overspreading of abomination, he shall make it desolate. 9:27. 2 Thessalonians 2:3-4. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposes and exalts himself above all that is called. Okay, it's coming. We have a clue. We have some understanding of it. All right. Charismatic world leader. The Antichrist rises to solve global problem. We need a Hitler. We need someone. Stand up. The Mussolinis of the world, the Caesars of the world, come when there is a crisis. He brokers a 7-year peace deal with Israel and the nations. Israel rebuilds the third temple and resumes sacrifices. Timing. This begins the 7-year tribulation. The first half of the tribulation, 3.5 years. Revelation 6:1-8. The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, and I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a boat, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. Some think that's Jesus Christ. I totally disagree. Christ don't just have a bow; he would have an arrow, and a crown was given unto him. This horseman seems to be Antichrist. The Antichrist consolidates power, white horse. War spreads globally, red horse. Famine and inflation devastate economies, black horse. Pestilence and mass death occurs, pale horse. Okay? You take the white, the red, the black, and you put it all together, and you get a pale horse. Revelation 13:16-18. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand and in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, say that he had the mark, bond or free. So we got slaves in it. We got more slaves now, it's predicted, than we did in times past. And think of all the prisoners that are in bondage, whatever, around the world. Their own livelihood, their own sin, whatever. They got themselves locked up. All right. The mark of the beast is introduced. Mass persecution of Christians and Jews again, one world religion rises. Timing, the first 3.5 years of the tribulation. The second great tribulation. Sure, that's right. The great tribulation, second 3.5 years. Matthew 24 to 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as were not since the beginning of the world to this time. No, nor ever shall be. This is the worst of the worst. Hitler was bad. Stalin was horrible. Mao Zedong was horrible. This is going to be awful. The Antichrist desecrates the Jewish temple. He declares himself God and the man's worship. Satanic signs and wonders to see many. The world enter its darkest period. God's wrath begins to pour out. Revelation 16, 1 through 21. That's why I believe that the rapture happens. It takes us out of here. But we go through hell for the first 3.5. Second 3.5 years of the tribulation. That's the time. The second coming of Christ. Revelation 19, 11 through 16. King James Version. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. And in righteousness he does judge and make war. Jesus returns in his glory with the armies of heaven. The Antichrist and the false prophet are cast into the lake of fire. Satan is bound for 1,000 years. The millennium reign of Christ begins. Timing at the end of the 7-year tribulation. So we're coming to the climax of it now. After the 7-year horrible period with the Antichrist, God comes down, Christ himself, and decimates the enemy. Puts an end to this. All right, final summary. The timeline of the end time. Event is global chaos, description, wars, famines, diseases, and increase. Possible time before the tribulation. New World Order, a 10-nation coalition formed, possibly before the tribulation. The rapture, believers are taken to Christ. Some believe before, I say mid-tribulation. Rise of the Antichrist, he forms a global empire, makes a peace deal with Israel. Start of tribulation. First half of tribulation. War, famine, death, persecution. 3.5 years. Great tribulation. The Antichrist claims to be God. Unleashes terror. 3.5 years. Second coming of Christ. Jesus returns to defeat the Antichrist. End of the 7-year tribulation. Millennium reign. Christ rules for 1,000 years. After tribulation. So we got that to look for. We got that to outline. I hope you're enjoying it so far. Let me know. Drop a comment. Are we close to the tribulation? Given the current global turmoil, economic instability, technological advancement, AI, digital ID surveillance, and growing hostility towards Christianity, many signs point to the soon fulfillment of end-time prophecy. Jesus wants us to be ready. Luke 21:28. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draws nigh. Question remains, are we ready? All right. What's our most important thing? So we got a wife or a girlfriend, and we cheating on the wife and the girlfriend with the mistress. We cheating on everything we do. We lying, cheating, and stealing. Are we ready? You tell me. We have to get ready as an individual. We got to get ourselves straight. We got to move in the right frame of mind, in the right spirit. All right, so that's the end of that. We have been going 2 hours and 13 minutes. I'm going to close out this slide, and I'm going to stop right now, take a break, and possibly do another one in a little bit. But I enjoyed your company. I hope you enjoyed this, and I might be back in an hour or two. I'm gonna try to put together, do it every week at a certain period of time. I'm looking at 6:30 each day, or 7. Let me know if you care, you don't care. Let me know. You want to follow, you want to keep up. You got questions, you got answers. Show me where I'm wrong. Show me where I'm dead wrong. I'm off the chart. But until then, God bless, and I hope to hear from you in the comments. Let's close this out.